welcome back. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Eleni. Today I will be doing a tutorial. I use this bag all the time. Oh, there's like sun cream and rubbish in it. Okay, a tutorial of this bad boy. I've made a couple of these months ago. I made this bad boy for myself. It's got a load of random colours in it, but the design is usually like uniform colours. All the squares are the same. I really like the randomness of this one, but in this video I won't be obviously doing the random colour. You can. It's really not any different. You just change the colours wherever you want. This was genuinely fully just random. A couple of the squares are the same, but a lot of them aren't really the same at all actually. I said it in my last video, but I will say it again. Thank you so much for the support on videos, and the amount of messages I've got has just proven to me that like this was the right thing to do, and I quite enjoy it. It's quite fun, quite like it. So thank you very much. Let's get into this video. The construction of this bag, it is making noises. There is stuff in there and I don't really want to take it out. This has been used a lot. There's 19 granny squares, 19 of these squares here, these granny squares, 6 on the front and 2 down the side here, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, and then 6 on the other side as well. And then once they're all kind of joined together, it's like a net pattern, which I will show you obviously when we get further into the video. And then you form the bag and then you create the top bit and the straps around it. Then these straps are quite long, so I think I'm going to make the other one a tiny bit shorter, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. To start off the video, I will show you how to make one of these. You need 19 of them. It's called I think it's a starburst granny square. It does use a magic circle. You don't have to use a magic circle, you can do an alternative chain. I know some people do that instead of a magic circle. I do a magic circle. Then we've got like a little bobble cluster. I want to call it like a little bobble stitch. 2 rows of the same sort of like, they're like clusters, and like there's like a granny square edging then around it. In terms of my colour scheme, I'm using a bit of an array of yarn because I've got quite a bit of scraps left. They're not scraps. Actually, I say that they're not scraps, they just don't have the labels anymore. I'm using this for the centres. This is the Paint Box Cotton Aran, colour Soft Fudge. I don't have the label for this one. I can search it, and if I remember I'll put it in here. The second on the cluster, the little like bobble stitches, I'm using, this is Drops of Paris, I know that 100%. I will try and find the colour. And for the first row of cluster stitches, I've got this, and I know it's, I think it's James C. Brett. It's the one that says 100% cotton in big writing on it. My all-time favourite colour. Once again, it's the Drops Paris, and it's colour 12. I think I said that in my last video. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. How's that happen then? How's that happen? I don't know. Yeah, the edging. This is the main, they only do this in white and this colour. It was the yarn I used in my last video, and they're my go-to for these ones because they come in 100-gram balls. They're brilliant, they're affordable, absolutely love them. The Jarrell King Cotton, 100 grams. I'm using a 4.5. Aaron normally tends to call for a 5, but I love my 4.5, so I'll be using my 4.5 and scissors. There is a lot of ends, pre-warning, a lot of ends, but I crochet over my ends. You can see that, you can kind of see what I'm poking out. I crochet over my ends as I'm going around, which I will show you now. It is a lot of sewing in. I get around that by just sticking a lining in it, sewing a lining in it, so you don't have to see the ends. I use this bag all the time and the ends are not sewn in, so I don't mind. It's my bag. I'm not sewing it in. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. I wear a lot of clothes, crochet clothes out the house that have ends sticking out everywhere. It's just not a bit of me. I'm sorry. I know lots of people don't like to sew in their ends, so I know I'm not alone in this. I just don't like it. Okay, let's go. I'm going to be starting with the centre and working our way out as you would in a normal granny square. But as I do each row, I am going to tie off. I'm not going to switch colours, just because I think it makes it more secure if you tie the knot and then snip off and then re-add the colour. So we're going to start with a magic circle, which I'm going to try and explain. You're going to grab your yarn. I get my 2 fingers like this between my thumb, wrap it round my 2 fingers like that, back over the bottom here, over the top, and cross it over and hold it down then my ring finger. So you've got that on the bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to poke your hook under the first here and grab it with your hook, pull and twist up, okay? And then you're going to let go, and the loop, I'm going to hold the loop there, otherwise it does tend to move around. You're going to chain one. Okay, so once you've got your magic circle, you're going to place 12 double crochets into the magic circle. Okay, once you've got your 12 double crochets, you're going to get the end here, the tag, and pull it fully tight closed until it's in a circle. You're just going to insert your hook to the first double crochet and slip stitch and tie off. Pull through, slip stitch like that, cut your yarn, pull up. So you have your middle little circle. I'm going to do these little like bobble stitches, which is the second row, and we're still working in a circle. Once we get to the third row, that's when we make it into a square, but for now in the second row we're still missing a nail. Please don't comment on it. You're going to reattach your yarn. It doesn't really matter where. I tend to do it on the opposite side to where I just cut off, so that I can crochet over the first end and then crochet over the second end. Slip knot, put it on the end of your hook. So you're going to be pulling up and extending it a little bit. So I'll show you what I mean now. You're going to pull your slip knot through and chain one. And then once you've chained one, just wiggle it, pull it up a little bit. Pull your chain tight there, but wiggle up so it's not too far, it's not huge. Then you're going to yarn over, go back into that same stitch and pull up another loop and pull it up so it matches the height of the others. And you're going to do the same again, yarn over, through, pull up another loop and just wiggle it so it matches the others once again. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through. Then you're going to chain one. You're not going to yarn over now. Straight into the loop, pull up and pull it up a bit so it matches. Yarn over, through, pull up another loop and pull it up so it matches. So you have 4 loops on your hook. One more time, yarn over, back through, yarn over, pull through another loop like this. You should have 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and pull through all of them. Depending on how far you tend to pull it up, the more or less difficult it is. If you don't pull it up a lot, it is difficult to get the hook through. Okay, and then chain one, and then I'm going to show you one more time. So you go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up, so you have 2, yarn over, back through, yarn over, pull up again, yarn over, back through, yarn over, pull up again. So they're all, as you can see, a bit extended. They're just a bit pulled up. And then lastly, yarn over and pull through all of them and chain one. So it should look like that. You should have these little clusters. And you're just going to continue doing that all the way around, and you should have 12 clusters. So I've crocheted over the back end of that tie off brown end, and you're going to go into this chain one here and just slip stitch, chain one and tie off. So now you have the 2 rows, you have the clusters in the middle. Now we're on to the third row, which is the row that kind of turns it into a square. Doing these cluster stitches, you'll be doing 2, and then you'll be placing 2 in one stitch, and then 2, and then 2 in one stitch, etc, etc. These corners, you'll be chaining 2 from now on each of these corners. Insert my hook, go opposite where I just tied off, into the chain 1 space. Slip knot with your 3rd colour, so mine's the light pink. Put it on the end of my hook and just pull through the chain 1 space and chain 2. Will act as our first double crochet. You're going to make almost 4. This counts as our first one. We're going to make 3. Half double crochet, so you're going to do 1 as I'm doing here, so you can insert your hook as you're doing a double crochet back into that same stitch and pull through the first 2 loops, But then once you've done that and you've got 2 loops on your hook and you're about to go back through and pull through, don't leave them on your hook, yarn over, back through and pull through the first 2. So you have 3 loops on your hook, and then one more time, yarn over, through, pull through the first 2. So you have 4 loops on your hook, creating, as you can see, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to say half double crochets because obviously that means something else, but you're creating half of 4 double crochets, and then you're going to yarn over one last time and pull through all 4 of those loops. You chain 1, do the next in one space, you're going to yarn over, hook through, yarn over again and pull through. You're going to pull through 2. So as you can see, now you've got 2 loops on your hook after the first double crochet, whereas over here after the chain 2, which acted as the first double crochet, you only had 1 loop on your hook. So now from now on you'll have 5 loops on your hook, which is how you know that you're done with the cluster. Back through, pull up, pull through the first 2, yarn over, back through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2. So you have 4 loops on your hook, but you're not done because as you can see this cluster is smaller, slightly smaller. Yarn over one more time, back through, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2. And you're going to yarn over once more and pull through there. Okay, so now we've done 2 clusters, as I said. On the third one, we're going to place 2 clusters in one, and that will create a corner. And in between the 2 clusters, you're going to chain 2. You're going to do a cluster as normal. Just done a 3rd cluster there. And you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space you've just placed that last cluster in, and do another cluster. And pull through all of them. You can see now, once we keep going, that's a little corner, and you're going to do 2 more, then in the 3rd one another corner, 2 more, 3rd one another corner, 2 more, and you should end on a corner on this last one, chain space here. I've just finished my 3rd corner now, and I've just done the first cluster on that side. I'm just going to do the other cluster, chain 1. It should work out so you have 1 corner left there. Just do that last corner, chain 2, 5 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all of them. Just going to chain 1, insert our hook back into the chain 2 space and slip stitch and tie off like that. So we've just done our 3rd row. Our 4th row is pretty similar, same as the last row. You've just now got 1, 2, 3 spaces, have 3 clusters in between each corner. It's literally the same as this last row. Make a slip knot, insert my hook randomly. Well, I say randomly, it's not randomly, but you can do it randomly. On the end, yarn over and chain. Ooh, get out of the way. There we go. Chain 2. And we're just going to do a normal cluster. So there's 2 loops. As I said on the first one, as the chain 2 acts as double crochet, you'll only have 4 loops on your hook. I'm going to chain 1, and you're just going to do the clusters as normal. About halfway through this row now, and as you can see, I've done 2 corners, and there is 3 cluster stitches in between, and then 2 in the corner. You're placing them in the corner, placing the corner in the chain 2 space of the last corner, basically. There's 3 clusters in between each corner instead of 2. 1 half of the last corner. I'm just going to finish up the corner and the last cluster. Go 5 loops on my hook as always, yarn over, pull through. And we're going to chain 1, insert our hook back into the top, the 2nd chain of the chain 2, yarn over, pull through, slip stitch, chain 1 and tie off. There we go. So that is the main center of the starburst, and then we're just going to do the edging, which is what the rest of the bag will be made out of. This time I'm doing like this beigey creamy colour. So we're just going to do this last edge. It's like the normal granny square stitch. There's no chains between the stitches. There is 2 chains in the corner, 3 in each space. Then when you get to the corner, 3, chain 2, 3. So as always, insert your hook anywhere, make a little slip knot and insert it onto the end of your hook. In the last colour, it's the edging colour, which is the colour that the whole bag, the rest of the bag, will be made out of. And you're gonna pull through, and you're gonna chain 2, and now we're done with the like half, I don't want to say half double crochets because that means something else, but like doing full double crochets now. So you're gonna do 3, so that chain 2 counts as 1 there. Do 3 double crochets in one space. You're not gonna chain or anything. Yarn over and then go into the next space and do another 3. 3, like that, like a normal granny square stitch. No chaining in between, go into the next, chain 1 space. Try and come up. Hello? Don't jump up, just say hi. Okay, so 1, 2. I'm once again crocheting over the end. Also, we're not chaining 1 and turning our work. We're working on the same side. In that way, all of the messy ends are on one side as well, if you don't want to sew in your ends. Now, between every corner now, there will be 4 clusters. So 1, 2, 3, you've got 4, and then in the corner, it's pretty similar to what we've just done. You're gonna do, as normal, 3 double crochets like that, chain 2, back into the exact same space, 3 more double crochets. I'm going to keep doing that till you get right the way around and back to this last corner. Finish the corner off. Once again, no chaining. We've been chaining between each cluster on these last 3 rows, so we don't want to do that on this last row. It just makes the square a bit neater without the chaining, otherwise it just looks a bit big and floppy. Chain 2, 3 there. We're just going to insert our hook back into the top of the chain 2, yarn over, pull through, chain 1 off, pull through, pull it tight. It's our first, well, my second first square. I hope I explained that well. If not, I do apologise. It is called the starburst, sunburst, starburst granny square. So if you think I explained it really badly, just search that. But I'm fingers crossed hoping it makes sense. I'm just not very good with my words sometimes. And I think it might just be easier to look at what I'm doing instead of listening to what I'm doing. We now have 2 squares. I've sewn in the ends on this first one. I actually might sew in the ends too, and you need 19. So I'm going to do 17 more. You might have just completed your first one, so you need 18 more. Do little updates as I'm going, how I normally do it and how you might like to do it as well, just so you're not always changing colour. Do all the circles, then I'll do the second row on all the circles, then I'll do the 3rd row on all of them, and the 4th row on all of them, and the 5th row on all of them. I'm going to do 17 more squares. I will be updating you as I go. As well as this now, snap my nail and work. I've done 1 and 17 more to go. I'm almost done with the bobble bits of these. I've got a few, I've got 3 left to do. Both the centre and the second row doesn't take, or shouldn't take, more than 50 grams of yarn each. I think the centres probably take about 15-20 grams, not even that. I've propped you on my laptop, so I'm not hopeful that this isn't going to fall. I have 17 little circles, hoping to get all of the 3rd rows done. So then tomorrow I'm going for a cute little breakfast brunch date with my best friend, and then I'm going to finish the 4th and the 5th row and start constructing. Fingers crossed. I hope to get it done by Monday. Yeah, I'm aiming to get all of the light pink done, maybe some of the yellow because it was much earlier than I thought it is. I'm also making a TikTok of this as well. I am trying to be a bit more active on all social medias. I am trying. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going now. Okay, it's a few hours later now. I haven't done much. I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep, I had a nap. I'm now on to the pink parts. I've only done 2. Love Island is on at 9. However, Coldplay are playing Glastonbury at 9:45. So I don't know what to do, but I'm gonna watch Outnumbered till then. Once again, please leave any suggestions of series now, because I feel a bit lost. And I've got to stop watching the same series because I almost clicked on Vampire Diaries and I thought, no, I've watched that one too many times. I'm going to keep going with the pink. I'm hopefully going to finish the pink. Maybe start the yellow. Maybe I overestimated this beginning. So, been for food this morning. with one of the girls. Definitely didn't get as much done as I thought I was going to. I was just really tired, basically, and I just went to sleep. But I did do quite a few. I did 10. So I've got 7 left to do of the pink. And then I've got the yellow and the beige to do. I've done all of the pinks. I have 17. You need 19 squares. I'm going to keep emphasising this. I've already done 2, hence why I'm just making 19 this way. 17 more. 17. Now I'm on to the yellow, which is the second round of the same as what we've just done with the pink. It is 3 minutes to 3 now, so I'm going to see how long it takes me. I'm going to try and do it I'm going to try and do it as quick as I can. Also, these balls are lifesavers. I'm going to try and do it like with minimal breaks. Obviously, I do need to take a couple of breaks, otherwise my hands might fall off. But I'm going to try and do as quickly as I can. It's now 4 o'clock, so it's been an hour, and I've managed to do 10, which I think is pretty good. 6 minutes. I was going to say I'm going to try and divide 60 by 10. That's not hard. 6 minutes per thing. Yeah, 2. Yeah, I love the colour scheme. I think it's so cute. 7 more to do, so I should be done by 5 o'clock. Fingers crossed. And then I'm going to start the beige. It is 2 minutes to 5, so it's taken me 2 hours. I had a little tea break. I had a cup of tea, but it's taken me 2 hours. I've done all of the yellow now, all of the pink, all of the yellow, 2 balls of 50 grams. So it took me 100 grams to do the yellow. This is what is left. Now I'm on to the beige. I'm not specifically making this bag for anybody either. My mum did ask me to make her one, and I don't know why I just didn't ask her what colours she wanted for the bag and then just make this one for her, but I still might give it to her. Okay, let's go. I am over halfway. I've done 9 because I'd already done 2 and I've got 8 left. Now got 11 full squares. That's all the update I've got for now. I love it when it's just like, it just feels so satisfying when they're like this, when they're complete. The 19 squares have been completed. 19. There we are. Now that you have your 19 squares, it's like a net pattern. Do you remember in primary school when you get like those net pans and you like fold it together and like glue it together? It's like one of those basically. But we're joining a load of granny squares. If you want to sew in your ends now, highly recommend. I think I'm just going to give myself an absolute chore. Oh, shall I? I'm going to give myself an absolute chore at the end and I'm going to sew them all in at the end. I said there's 6 on the front, 6 on the back, 3 on the bottom, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. Okay, so I've put it into 0.5 so you can see, so the quality is very, very bad. But this is the pattern, this is the net pattern. So you're going to want to sew up here and here as well. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, but just these 2 in the centre, so sewing these 2 rows together and these 2 rows together, so it makes all 3 together. Down here, sewing this to this one and this one to this one, so down here, same on this one here, this one to this one and this one to this one. Then once you've done it one way, you're going to have to sew the other way as well, so you're just going to go all the way, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope that makes sense. But I will also draw a photo and put it on here so you can see. But yeah, don't kill me. I'm going to sew my granny squares together. However, I am going to show you how to attach them because I feel like that would be unfair. If you do have a sewing machine, I highly recommend using the zigzag stitch on your sewing machine and sewing them together. All of the ones I've done before, I've never sewn. I quite like, there is multiple ways of sewing granny squares together. I quite like this way, which creates a ridge. I quite like this that way. So I'm going to show you how to do that and how you just slip stitch the sides together basically. But then I'm going to undo it and I am going to sew it together with my sewing machine. Once you've sewn the net together, then I'll show you how to form it into the bag. So once you've sewn all of the squares, they go on my laptop, once you've sewn all the squares together and they're all joined, then you sew, it will all be sewn together. You'll sew this bit to this bit, if that makes sense. But I will show you once we cross that bridge. So to attach your squares, you're going to make a slip knot. And this is how you make the ridge but if you have your own preference of joining granny squares, just do it that way. Put my hook into the second of the chain like that, so there's the other chain is there and I'm sticking it here, and the same on the other side. 2 of the first chains on my hook. Got the slip knot on the end of my hook now. I'm just going to pull it through the first 2 chains like that, yarn over and slip stitch, pull it through. Now I'm going to go into the first, just the top V, the V you can see is the V, and I'm just going to go into this top one here instead of both of them. I'm going to do that the same on the other side, so just the top one and the one closest to you. I'm going to yarn over and then pull through both and the slip stitch. I'm just going to keep doing that. Basically you're going to insert your hook into the top of the V of the stitch, the closest to you, yarn over, so you've got three loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 like that, and they should match up, so you should be inserting your hook into the first of a cluster on one side and the first of the cluster on the other side. That like ridge in the middle, I like the way that looks. So you're going to keep going all the way up now until you reach the first of the chains, and you're going to slip stitch into the first of the chains, not the second one, because that technically counts as being on this side. So as you can see, this little like ridge has formed in the middle. I just think it looks really nice. When you get to, obviously when you're joining the first 2 rows, squares like this, isn't it? When you join the huge middle section. So when you get to this part, you're just basically going to hop on over to the other square. So you're going to insert with the loop still on your hook, insert the hook into the first, well, in this case it's the second chain if you're looking at it, onto the vertical side. Same on this side, you're not going to insert your hook into this first chain here. It's going to be the top stitch of this second one. This, insert your hook there like that, so you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to bring your yarn over. It's going to feel a bit weird because obviously your yarn is coming under and over. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 like that. You're going to keep going as you did with the first one. You're going to have seams going up, and the seam here going up, and you're going to have gaps here. You've got to sew both vertical and horizontal. So I've just tied off as though, pretend this is also sewn here. I've just tied off so I can show you how, when you go the opposite way and you reach this middle seam, so I'm going to show you how to overcome that now. I'm going to slip stitch now until I get to the first chain on this side. I've just got my hook into the last chains. It's going to slip stitch. We've now come to the new seam meets the old seam. So what I'm going to do is I tend to see the gap between the 2 clusters on the corner. I tend to stick my hook through the gap under there and go under and go diagonally through here like that. So your hook is going quite a distance. You're going through the gap in one corner, diagonally over to the other corner, and then yarning over and pulling through like that. And I just do tend to chain 1 just so it reaches. And I hope that was clear. The corner is tight together with the seams. And if you keep going now, continue the seam as normal then on the other side. The chain 1 spaces are really fiddly. Into the chain as always and keep the seam going then. So I am using my sewing machine on the floor because I didn't want to lug it downstairs. I've sewn these 4 are all sewn this way and this way. I was going to sew them all downwards and then sew them across, but I just wanted to see if it's quite sturdy, and it really is. Keep going down here now. I'm going to sew these to this side and then I'm going to go across on all of them. But yeah, so you've got 5 down and 3 across, so you're going to sew that in just a normal rectangle all together, both vertically and horizontally. All sewed this way, sewn this way down. Now I'm going to do horizontal as well. So it all looks like that. Actually the following evening again. I've got pseudocreme on my face, just ignore it. Anyway, this has now all been sewn together horizontally and vertically. Now what you're going to do is in the middle row here, I'll put the picture back up again, but 1 and 2 on the side and 1 and 2. So you'll have 3, 3, 7, 2 up here, 3, 2 down here, 3, 3. How cute does this look as well? I'll come back to you when I've done that and then we'll like assemble it into a pouch then. Actually, a few days later now, I just had lots of things going on. I've done one side, I'm just doing it like it's like extending the row out to the side a bit. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. It has like 2 arms. So now we have our net pattern. So we should have 7 squares going across the middle and then 2 rows of 3 above it and 2 rows of 3 below it. So you have 2 on the side here, 6, 2, the 3 on the bottom, and then on the other side. So we are now going to sew this together, and then once that's sewn together, this together here, and the same on the other side. That might not work, it might not go through my sewing machine, but I'm gonna have a try, and when I've done one side I'll come back and show you, and fingers crossed. Okay, so as I suspected, the sewing machine, I also snapped again. I need to take them off. The sewing machine proved unsuccessful when trying to do these side panels, so I am just going to slip stitch them as I did on my other bag. Maybe let's just address this first. I've been told that people like the FaceTime vibes of the past 2 videos I've uploaded. This might be taking it too far, so we're going to move past this. I've done one of the little corner like that, and then you're going to do it same on the other side and the same on the other side, and then we've got a little bag, little pouch going. I think I'm going to go and take this off, then come back. Now, as you can see, got the side panels all sewn up, main body of the bag constructed. Now, move on to the strap and like top portion of the bag. So we're working this way around the top, going over the squares and then over the seam. You can attach your yarn anyway, really. Slept on my crochet. This is the bad thing about crocheting on your bed. I slept really funny all night. The hell is that poking me? It was my crochet hook. I slept on my crochet hook all night. I tend to attach my yarn on the side of the bag. I don't know why, you'll be placing double crochets, each of the top double crochets from the square all the way along. Obviously once you get to the seam it's a bit different. I'm gonna show you that one just because like going over the seams, obviously there's not like direct holes for you to crochet into. My slip knot through and I've chained 2 like that, and I'm just going to go to the end and I'm going to flip you over then. But for some reason crocheting it on the wrong way around. Here is the seam. I'm going to be placing a double crochet into this chain space here at the corner, as so. 1 double crochet into that chain 1, into that chain 1 space by there, and then there's a little gap in there. So I'm going to put 1 either side of the seam. Same on the other side. So I'm going to put another one over there. I'm going to start crocheting over this end as well, like that, and then into the chain 1 space as well. For going over the seam, just keep going as normal then. Crochet all the way along the top until you get to the next seam, crochet all the way around until you get back to here, and slip stitch into the first chain, second chain at the top, chain 2, turn your work, go back around. I think I'm gonna do 3 rows, I think I'll do, just to make it a bit more sturdy. 1 full round all the way around, just normal double crochets, and then I've slip stitched back into the chain and chain 2, and now I'm going to go back around the other way, and you're going to do that 3 times, so you have 3 extra rows on the top. I have completed my 3 rows, slip stitched and chain 2. We're going to start making the straps, and double crochet as normal. And once I get to this seam here, you're going to find the double crochet that kind of, it's only rough, it doesn't have to be exact, it's not going to make it it's not going to make it look weird if it's not exact. You're going to find the double crochet that's kind of above the seam, the side seam, and you're going to count 12 double crochets in, where I kind of land. And you're going to do the same on this side, and you're going to count in 12 from this side and put stitch markers in that and do the same on the other side. So I'm going to do that now and I'll come. I really need to invest in some stitch markers because I usually use like these little clip earrings, and now I've also lost the earrings, so I've had to tie bobbles in them. See, so from these seams on the side I've counted 12 inwards on each side, and what you're going to do is you're going to double crochet up until that stitch marker, and then you're going to chain. About 75 to 80 seems to be like the sweet spot. That seems to be like a good number. And then once you've finished the chain, you're going to with the chain still on your hook, you're going to reattach and double crochet and then just go around, and then you're going to duplicate it exactly on the other side, exactly the same. So you're going to count in 12 stitch marker there, count in 12 stitch marker there, and do the exact same on the other side. So I've started the 4th row, it would be, and I've just hit my stitch marker, I've just taken it out. And what you're going to do, don't keep double crocheting, miss all of until the next stitch marker and chain your desired length. I'm gonna do 80, so I'm gonna chain 80 and then reattach over here on the other stitch marker, which I also took out. As you can see, I've started to chain. I've missed all of this and I chained 80 attach now, and I'm going to show you. So my chain on my hook over here, sorry, this side looks like it's in the way. We're just going to yarn over here. I'm going to do a double crochet. You're going to want to pull this yarn tight. We're going to have quite a bit of tension, otherwise the double crochet is going to be quite loose. You're going to pull it quite tight, but yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the other 2, and then you're just going to keep double crocheting all the way around now until you get 12 stitches out from over here where this stitch marker is, and you're just going to do the exact same on the other side. Just a bit of a clearer view for you because I feel like that camera was quite close. 12, and then I've 12 in, double crochet 12 in from that seam over here, chained 80, and then reattached 12 double crochets in from this edge seam here inwards, and then I'm going to keep going around until I reach this one here on this side, and I'm going to chain 80 and reattach here and double crochet and slip stitch into here. So now have the basis for our straps. Gone back around as always and slip stitched into the chain. I'm going to chain 2, crochet along as normal, and when you hit this chain then you're going to crochet into all of the chains. So I have 80, so I'm going to do 80 double crochets all the way along this chain into the chain, and back down along here all the way around, same on this side. So as you can see, I've just turned my work and started a normal row, and then when I hit the chain I just crocheted into the chain all the way around back on this side, so you have like a nice little loop in here, and you're not gonna, as I said, not gonna crochet on this anymore. You're not touching this bit. As you can see, I've just done the first strap now and I've just moved on to the second one, but I thought I'd show you in full what it looks like up close. I've done a decrease as well between the last double crochet and the first chain, so it doesn't gape a bit at the strap. Yeah, a decrease between the last double crochet and the first chain. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Done the first row. Here she is in all her glory. I think I'm going to do 2 more rows, at least 1, maybe 2. Gone around on top of the chain, slip stitched into here, just doing like rounds, so chaining 2, turning your work, coming back around. Just now going back along double crochets you've just done, up the strap, back down, back around here, up the other strap, back around, until you reach your desired amount of rows and your desired amount of thickness on your strap. I did an extra row, so I've only done 2 rows on the handle just because I thought it was enough. If you want to do more, if you want to make the strap thicker, that's perfectly fine. In total, I did 6 rows in total on here, just slip stitched and tied off as usual. I hope I've explained it well. I am going to title it as a relaxed tutorial. It's pretty relaxed because I've just sat on my bed and done it. Highly recommend crocheting over the ends as you're doing these. You'd have like 200 ends to sew in, it's ridiculous. So I highly recommend crocheting over any ends anywhere as possible. Thank you for watching. Just to point out, that blind there is broken, that's why it's not open and the other ones are open. I've just realised it's the only one in shot. It's broken and doesn't open. And that's a pile of Vinted clothes selling on Vinted, so don't even. Thank you so much for watching. I am in love with this colour combo. I've got to go and give it to my mum. I'm kind of upset. Thank you very much for watching. Next video will be this shell vest that I was wearing in the start of my last video. This will be my next video, so stay tuned for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. But yeah, I will see you next time with a tutorial on this vest. Thank you very much for watching.